Alright, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm reading for today, I'm seeing that you are kind of on the precipice of a really big change and wondering what is going to come in for you. I definitely see you looking for sort of the next big thing, the next big relationship to commit yourself to, the next big project. You're looking kind of at the connections that you have, at the things that you have going on, and wondering, how can I dedicate myself more to things, or like, what is it that's really meant for me on my life path? What is it that's going to speak to my heart? And so that's what this reading is going to be about. Now, before I dive deeper into the energies, I just want to say thank you so much, as always, for being here and for receiving this reading. If you would like a personal reading, I do offer them. You can email me down below in the description box if you're interested. And if this reading resonates with you, please take a second to like and subscribe, as it helps me connect more with other people and helps me connect more with you in the future. But let's dive in here, Sagittarius. So your overall energy is the Tower, which is that big change, that lightning bolt moment, the thing that kind of happens that shakes everything up, that shifts what you're working on into kind of a new direction. And when I clarified that, I got the Two of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Wands. So that Queen of Cups is really you, the very big, expansive heart space, wondering, is something going to come in that speaks to my heart? You're looking for that spark of inspiration, that spark of passion, that thing that sets you on a new path and you kind of take off running there. Now, in the recent past, we have the Three of Cups, the Hierophant, the Hermit. So that's this energy of you possibly feeling like you're healing, and you're looking for a spiritual path. You're looking for the thing that's going to speak to you. You could feel like you've been through a lot and you're ready for kind of the next phase in your journey, and you're wondering, like, what is that going to be? And so let's take a deeper look here at those cards. You're showing me that there was some type of connection, or maybe multiple people, where there was a lot of conflict, a lot of drama, a lot of chaos, and it kind of felt like no matter how you came towards this connection or these people, there was always kind of this drama, this chaos. And you're showing me that it kind of tipped you off that you needed to kind of move on or move forward, that you couldn't really grow in that environment, whatever that was. For some of you, that could be a family dynamic. For others of you, that could be a partnership. It could be a friend group. It could be coworkers that you worked with. But I see you kind of recognizing that it wasn't working and that it wasn't going to work, and moving forward. And then as you reflect on it, trying to understand, where did I go wrong? Did I put my energy into something that wasn't worth it? Just kind of thinking about it and trying to understand what happened energetically. What was the overall lesson? And as you reflect, it could open up something with your inner child around the give and take in the situation, or just something, it triggered something within you that you kind of are learning a lesson from. And ultimately, I see you kind of learning to advocate for yourself more, learning to speak up about how you feel, and allow people to love and care for the parts of you that you might not always show or express. There's almost this lesson in here of like, well, if I don't show people who I am or how I really feel, they can't love me, or they can't care for that part of me. With the Moon to the Queen of Swords, that's you speaking your truth, speaking up about what's going on underneath, and also being really honest with yourself and with other people about how you feel, so that those feelings can be acknowledged and be cared for, with the Ace of Cups here as well. Because there's some part of you that needs gentleness, that needs love, but if you're not sharing it, especially if you're not sharing it with yourself, there's no way that that love can kind of come in and meet you. And so you're healing by kind of loving yourself for the most honest version of who you are and how you feel and what you need. this feels like a good point to talk about the oracle cards that are coming out. We have projections, rebirth, and harmony. I'm feeling like this projections energy was not your energy so much as other people that you were involved with. Whatever this connection was, that was kind of chaotic, kind of dramatic, had a lot of conflict in it. You could have felt like other people were projecting onto you, or like, I'm kind of getting this really deep message about, with this moon energy, there was a part of you, or maybe even a lot of you, like maybe the things that make you who you are, that were not being expressed or were not being shown. And so people were kind of filling in the gaps of that with who they thought you were. Like they weren't seeing the fullness of who you are, so then they were projecting onto you what they thought you were, or maybe what they wanted you to be. And often, if you're a highly spiritual person, or just someone who kind of has those deeper spiritual things going on, other people who are not on the same wavelength are not going to pick up on that energy. They're just going to see what's on the surface. And often when someone doesn't understand me, or I don't know why I feel the need to talk about my own experiences, but yeah, if someone doesn't understand me, I'll feel them like project onto me whatever they do understand. So if I'm kind of being quiet and staying to myself, or kind of people pleasing and showing this image of what someone wants to see, they'll project onto me whatever they're feeling. If they're feeling insecure, they'll map that insecurity onto me. If they are feeling lonely, they might start to feel attracted to me because they want something to fill their loneliness. Something like that. And so I feel like there was this way that other people around you weren't seeing you clearly and were kind of projecting their own stuff onto you. And I see you kind of realizing through that experience this deeper lesson of like, oh my gosh, like I have to speak up more. I have to show people who I am. I have to show people my truth so that it can be cared for. And then we have this rebirth card, and we have the Ace of Cups, which is also a card of birth. It's the card of the waters flowing through the birthing process and something else being born through that. And so I see that this experience of being projected onto, it might have been really painful. And for some of you, I'm seeing the image of like a family dynamic and like the mother who's always rushing around taking care of everyone else. And the second she sits down to take care of herself, people get really mad at her because they're projecting their own needs and desires onto her. They're like, take care of me more. And there's something here about, even if you're not that mother figure, going within to take care of yourself above all else, honor your own truth, honor your own needs, and really put those in the center of your own life. And in doing that, really birthing something new, birthing like a new part of your life, a new version of yourself, a new way of being, where you're led from your heart and you're led from your own healing process. And as you go through this rebirth process, you could be kind of wondering what's coming next. But Spirit's saying, with the High Priestess in the center of your reading, you're moving through this elevation process where you kind of spiritually elevate and you become reborn into the next version of yourself. And so the things that come next are going to come sort of naturally as you move through that process. It's kind of like if you're pregnant with like a baby, you're not going to sit there and be like, what exactly is coming? You're like, a baby's coming. Like, I know I'm birthing something or someone. And so in the pregnancy process, you have to be really present. Like, if you're an expecting mother or parent, pregnant person, you have to be like, these are the foods I'm going to eat today because it's going to affect the baby right now, even though they're not born yet. And then tomorrow you're like, these are maybe the exercises I'm going to do today. Like, you're very present with that gestation process, even though you don't know exactly how the birth is going to go, what's coming next, etc., etc. And that's kind of the place that I see you in right now. You're literally like growing something new within you as you learn this lesson about centering your own truth. And many of you listening are going to be Sagittarius or have strong Sagittarius placements. And so Sagittarius as a sign, as a zodiac sign, is really all about truth, honoring your own truth, seeking out the truth in others, finding out the truth about the world, pursuing spiritual truth. And so this is also a quest of you honoring your own truth and seeing what comes as you do that. And then the next oracle card we have is harmony. So I see you coming into this space of harmony very naturally. Things really start to flow, things really start to align for you in your energy because you're honoring your own truth, and suddenly things start to click into place that maybe were fragmented before when you were in that sort of chaotic energy of other people's projections. Now, in the current energy, we have the Page of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Knight of Pentacles. So with the Page to the Knight of Pentacles, you're going to that next level through that spiritual process with the High Priestess. And for many of you, I'm getting the sense that this requires a certain level of going within or detaching from other people. It could have felt like other people were weighing you down with their projections, and it was becoming really heavy to like hold other people's perceptions of you. And I see you really kind of releasing that and stepping into a more focused personal energy with the High Priestess, of stepping into your higher self outside of maybe what everyone else thinks of you, those kind of lower vibrational energies. And this could have been expressed with one other person, but for many of you, I'm seeing it was multiple other people or energies in your life projecting onto you, and you kind of had to release that, let it wash away so that you could step into your own power. Let's take a look at that current energy. Let's take a look at the High Priestess. We have the Ace of Swords, the High Priestess, the Hermit. Yeah, I see you going within and having some really powerful realizations. Like, it's like almost as soon as you understand that you need to listen to your inner voice and prioritize your truth, look to your inner self, it's like you get these downloads, like one after the other, of what you need to do to heal, what self-empowerment looks like for you. And you get these downloads from your higher self that really guide you forward. There's also something here about in your life path, your spiritual path, your relationship path, being led by your intuition above all else, even if it doesn't make sense to the outside world, even if you're not pursuing, a quote-unquote normal life, or you're not going down the typical trajectory expected of you in your culture. You're meant to go within and be guided by your inner wisdom, your inner light, and allow that to kind of move you forward. For many of you, that comes through silence or meditation, going on long walks, spending time alone. For others of you, it's going to be less of a cocooning process and more just like checking in with yourself throughout the day and getting these little sparks, these little hints of information from yourself about what it is you're meant to be doing, what the next step is to take. And it really requires you, again, to detach from other people. There's almost this understanding, if you are someone who is very relationship oriented or externally oriented, there's this understanding that you don't need to look outside of yourself for validation, for guidance. You can go within and find that within yourself. And I'm actually seeing this Tower card in the overall energy. I was seeing that as you looking for something outside of yourself, but now I'm actually seeing you connecting to your heart on a deeper level and listening to it, feeling these like energetic zaps of like, this is how I feel. This is information that's going to take me to the next level. Because then we have the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So that's you leveling up. That's you being reborn. And it might be a slow process, but it's the process of you bringing these sort of heavenly, spiritual visualizations into the material world. The Pentacles are about the material world. And so you're bringing something higher down to earth. And it might feel like a slow process. You might feel like you're a bit of a beginner, but it's part of that leveling up. It's part of you coming into harmony with yourself as you're reborn. Let's take a look at the Page of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, Ace of Cups, King of Wands. There was this point where you, or maybe you still are, feeling kind of weighed down by receiving other people's love. What does someone else think of me? Are they going to care for me? Are they going to come towards me? Are they going to give me the love that I desire? And then you go within and you have that light bulb moment of, oh, like, I don't need to look outside of myself for love, for validation, or for anything to really move me forward. And so there's this release that happens of looking for validation in other people and really going within to see what you have to offer yourself. Let's look at the Knight of Pentacles. This is that leveling up. This is you going to the next step. And just as I said that, 3 cards fell to the floor, but they fell face up so I can see what they say. I'm arranging them with my toes here. We have the 6 of Wands, the Hierophant, the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is that energy of spiritually moving on, of leaving something behind and being led by your heart. And what you're leaving behind with the 6 of Wands to the Hierophant is that power that you give to external bodies, external people. There's like a shift in the center of gravity, a shift in the power dynamic where you take the onus of power from other people and you put it on yourself. And not in a negative way, in a positive way of like, I have the power. So really, really intense, really beautiful, powerful moment of like self-love, self-empowerment. And it's a shift. And you may feel all of this heaviness of other people's expectations, other people's projections, wanting other people to validate you, wanting other people to understand you. And it shifts into this energy of, I don't need anyone else to understand me because I understand myself. I don't need anyone else to validate me because I validate myself. And there could have been a lot of people that you were giving a lot of power to. For some of you, this could have been like an organizational or institutional body, like a workplace where you were like, well, I need these people to approve of me so I can keep working here, keep making money. And then it's like, whether or not you leave that environment, you leave behind the need for them to validate you. And you find that power within yourself. But for many of you, I'm seeing it won't be a workplace. This is a much more spiritual process of possibly a lot of different people in your life suddenly leaving or fading away because you're kind of ascending and not everyone can come with you. If they're going to keep projecting onto you and your energy doesn't allow for that, in order for you to move into this next phase, those people are going to have to fall away. And so many of you may feel like you're shedding a skin or you're shedding a weight, and that weight is what other people think. Let's look ahead to your near future. There's something you're not really seeing here with the 2 of Swords. There's sort of this question that lingers in your earthly mind of like, well, what do I do? Or what do I make of this? Like, how do I sort of balance it out? There's a question of like pursuing your own happiness and possibly some paranoia around that of like, am I going to make the right decision? Am I going to put my energy into the right things? It's kind of like you're in this deeply spiritual energy. You're having these spiritual realizations. You're going through this rebirth process. And then you come back down to earth and you're like, okay, well, what do I do now? Or what is it that's going to feel best now from a human perspective? Because I have to keep moving. So like, what do I put my energy into? I'm getting the sense that you're going to have that realization when it's meant to come. There's going to be energies that align really strongly with you, things that feel really good in your heart space, and that speak to that part of you that are true to yourself, that is true to yourself. But it requires you to continue speaking about yourself in a positive way, speaking your manifestations into existence, speaking your truth. Whatever that line of truth is that you found throughout this process, hold on to that and stay true to that line. Because there's something about you being honest with yourself that's going to attract in energies that want to support you, that want to help you. And that's what this Tower moment is going to be, is it's going to come into your life without you necessarily having to go out and look for it, because that's part of what this lesson is about, right? Is not looking outside of yourself for validation, but looking within. And once you speak your inner truth, once you own your inner truth and step into that power, other things start to just harmonize with you and align with you without you necessarily having to try. And it's almost like something falls out of the sky, or maybe multiple things fall out of the sky. This could be a really harmonious relationship. This could be work opportunities. This could be a path forward. Like, I'm hearing travel for some of you. But it's not going to be just even one thing either. It could be all of the energies in your life aligning in such a way that matches up with your energy. Now, when it comes to taking these sort of 5D heavenly spiritual energies and them showing up in our lives, it's a slow process. Earth energy is very dense, it's very heavy. We feel things in physical matter, and for energy to work through matter, it takes time. It's almost like the physical world has to be massaged by the energy of manifestation. And with the Page of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles as your energy, this is a deep process for you. This is a deep spiritual process for you. Like any birth, it takes time. And so with the Temperance card at the bottom of the deck, there is an element of divine timing here, of things just taking time. And there may be a part of your human self that wants to rush forward, that wants to know when these things are coming in. And Spirit's really trying to say, be really present with yourself, love yourself as much as you can, and listen to your inner voice, because that's how every next moment unfolds, is by us staying present with the current moment. Really deep reading today. You are moving forward, but you might have this feeling of, am I even moving forward? Nothing's really happening. There may be times when you get kind of depressed or you feel kind of low as the energy ebbs and flows, where you tell yourself nothing's happening, or you're not moving forward because you don't feel that really fast-moving kind of directional force, especially if you were around dramatic or conflicting energies in the past. Those are energies that are moving really fast, and this is going to really feel like a shift in the speed, the pace of things, and it's going to be slower. But remember, you're in that Knight of Pentacles energy, which is a step up from the Page, and you're elevating, but you're elevating in a totally different way, in a way that might not always be clear. There's a lot happening behind the scenes or under the surface with the Moon card at the bottom of the deck, and to many people outside of you, it may seem like nothing's happening at all, especially if you are kind of in this place in life that isn't typical for a person in your culture. The cultural expectation is going to say, you need to be doing this or you need to be doing that. And part of your challenge or your task right now is to honor your inner voice, even when it kind of seems unusual. And to trust that you are moving forward, even if it's not happening super quickly. Something's coming in for you. Things are aligning for you. I'm hearing you're the exception to the rule. Let's get 3 cards of advice for you from the universe. King of Swords, the Moon, 7 of Pentacles. You know your own truth. Take the time to understand yourself, to go within, to unpack everything, to lift every stone, to unpack the layers of who you are on the inside and get a deeper understanding of yourself. And as you unfold those layers, as you move through each piece, you will understand more than you've ever understood before. You will learn more about yourself, and it will give you the clarity that you're seeking on your path. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this helps. I hope that this resonates, and I'll see you next time.